You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 7th of December. Pakistan's top court extends deadline to conclude corruption cases against Nawaz Sharif. Afghanistan's poll body rejects decision to invalidate Kabul votes. And centuries-old synagogue reopens in southern India. And now for all the details. Pakistan's top court on Friday extended till December 24 the deadline for the completion of remaining 2 corruption references against former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Till now, 7 extensions have been granted by the court to wrap up the cases since the past 1 year.
Pakistan Supreme Court on Friday directed an accountability court hearing the remaining 2 corruption references against former Premier Nawaz Sharif and his family to conclude the cases by December 24th. The court directed Sharif's counsel Khwaja Haris to complete his arguments on December 17th and ordered the accountability court to announce a decision in Al Azizia and flagship investment corruption references by December 24th. On November 19th, the top court had directed the accountability court to conclude the Al Azizia case within 3 weeks. Earlier, 7 extensions to wrap up the corruption references initiated by the National Accountability Bureau were granted by the Apex Court. The Supreme Court had initially set a 6-month deadline to conclude a total of 4 corruption references against the Sharif family for owning assets beyond known sources of income.
More on news from Pakistan. Director General of Pakistan Army's media wing on Thursday said the army will help the latest US efforts for a political settlement with the Taliban. Washington has long been pushing Islamabad to lean on Taliban leaders, who it says are based in Pakistan, to bring them to the negotiating table for peace in Afghanistan.
Pakistan's army on Thursday threw its support behind the latest US efforts for a political settlement with the Afghan Taliban to end a 17-year-old war, urging Washington to leave Kabul as a friend of the region rather than a failure. Director General of Pakistan Army's Inter-Services Public Relations or ISPR, Major General Asif Ghafoor, said as much as they can, they will help the US negotiate a political settlement with the Taliban. This came just after the US Special Representative for Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, concluded a visit to the Pakistani capital, Islamabad.
उस तरीके से हम जितना फैसिलिटेट कर सकते हैं वो करेंगे. फॉरेन ऑफिस इस पे बेहतर जवाब देगा, लेकिन एक अगर सोल्जर होने के ऐसे से भी मैं आपको बताऊं, दिस पॉलिटिकल रिकंसिलिएशन मस्ट सक्सीड इन अ वे कि जब यूएस इस रीजन को छोड़ता है, वहाँ बहुत तबाही हुई है, उस वहाँ पे रीबिल्ड भी होना है और वो फॉरेन डोनर्स नहीं करना है और अमेरिका उसमें लीड है. वी विश दैट यूएस लीव्स अफगानिस्तान as friend of the region, not as a failure.
Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, who enjoys the support of Pakistan's army, which dominates foreign policy, met Khalilzad earlier in the week and also pledged to support a peace process with the Taliban. Washington has long been pushing Islamabad to lean on Taliban leaders, who it says are based in Pakistan, to bring them to the negotiating table. It often accuses South Asian nation of covertly sheltering Taliban leaders, an accusation Islamabad vehemently denies.
In news from Afghanistan, As the US Special Envoy for Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad continues his efforts for brokering talks with the Taliban to end the years-old war in Afghanistan. Some mainstream Afghan political parties on Thursday said they have established independent peace negotiating teams to talk to the Taliban.
Afghanistan's mainstream political parties on Thursday said they have established independent peace negotiating teams to talk to the Taliban. Jamiat-e-Islami, the National Islamic Movement of Afghanistan, and Hizb-e-Islami are among the three parties which have created their own separate teams to negotiate with the Taliban. Although last week Afghan President Ashraf Ghani himself offered a peace plan at the Geneva conference, the political parties say their own 7-member peace negotiating team will now meet the Taliban representatives in a foreign country.
احزاب طرفدار مذاکرات بین‌الافغانی هستند. طرف‌های بین‌الافغانی سه طرف میتونه باشد. طالبان، طرف دولت و قوت‌های سیاسی که بیرون از دولت هستند.
ما هر کاری که میکنیم از مجرای کمیته صلح جمعیت اسلامی افغانستان میشود و تاکید ما به این است که حوزه مقاومت یک طرف اصلی در بحث مذاکرات صلح باشد.
This comes after President Ghani, in a meeting with the US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad on Thursday, said the joint efforts by the Afghan government and the US will help in bringing peace to Afghanistan. In the meeting, Ghani also appreciated Khalilzad's efforts for Afghan peace.
More on news from Afghanistan. The Independent Election Commission of Afghanistan has rejected a decision by the country's electoral complaints on invalidating votes during the parliamentary elections in capital Kabul city. So far, the poll body has announced election results for 20 provinces in the country.
Independent Election Commission or IEC of Afghanistan has rejected a decision by the Independent Electoral Complaints Commission or IECC on invalidating Kabul votes. The poll body issuing a declaration said the decision to invalidate Kabul votes was illegal and a politically motivated decision, local media reports said on Friday. Meanwhile, the IECC officials said the decision was taken on the basis of the prevailing laws of the country following reports of widespread fraud and electoral crimes. IECC also slapped cash fines on at least 5 members of the IEC over when it described as poor leadership and weakness by these officials in the electoral process. But the IEC hit out over the decision and declared it unacceptable. So far, the IEC has announced election results for 20 provinces of the country. The long-delayed elections for the lower house of Afghan parliament were held in October.
Moving on to news from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's toppled Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on Thursday said the country should be governed by a government but not by an executive president, and a new parliament should be established to abolish the executive presidency through a referendum.
Sri Lanka's ousted Prime Minister and leader of the United National Party or UNP, Ranil Wickremesinghe, on Thursday said the country should be governed by a government but not by an executive president. The UNP leader made these remarks during a seminar organized on constitutional coup and the repercussions in the capital city of Colombo, reports suggest. Stressing that a new parliament should be established to abolish the executive presidency through a referendum, Wickremesinghe said the president's power should be pruned further while strengthening independent institutions established through the parliament. His comments came a few days after a Sri Lankan court issued an order preventing controversially appointed Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa from holding office in the country. The island nation is battling with political crisis since President Maithripala Sirisena replaced Wickremesinghe and appointed Mahinda Rajapaksa as Prime Minister in October, and then later issued an order to dissolve the parliament.
Scores of Jews from around the world came to India as an 818-year-old synagogue reopened after 46 years on its 450th anniversary on Thursday. Several Israeli nationals also gathered at the synagogue in India's Kochi city to offer prayers and welcome a handwritten copy of the Torah, the holy book of Judaism.
Scores of Jews gathered from around the world in India's southern Kochi city as an 818-year-old synagogue reopened after 46 years on its 458th anniversary on Thursday. Israeli nationals gathered at the Kaduva Bagam synagogue, offered prayers and sang devotional songs on the occasion. They also took part in a procession welcoming Sefer Torah, a handwritten copy of Torah, the holy book of Judaism, that was brought from Israel on this special day.
It's a big celebration because two reasons. One reason because it's a Hanukkah. Hanukkah it's a holiday for the hero man, yeah. And another reason that we are very, very happy because this wonderful place was people here, my parents and all the other here was here, and they was pray here.
Now it is a time. Now very few Jews are here. It should be the monument for the Israel and India relationship. And nowadays it is getting more strengthened and strengthened by all means.
The synagogue in Kochi was closed for worship in 1972 as many of its members moved to Israel in 1950s and 60s. Fewer than 5,000 Jews remain among India's 1.1 billion people, but the faith has a long history in the secular country, with the first established community believed to have been formed in Kerala in 70 AD.
In one of its kind initiatives started in India's northern Srinagar city, some volunteers have turned a wall into a wall of kindness, where people can hang warm clothes to help those in need. The wall has been helping several persons from the underprivileged sections of the society.
With an objective of bringing a positive change in the society, some volunteers have turned a wall into Wall of Kindness in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province, where people can hang warm clothes to help those in need. A group of 30 people, including students and activists under the banner of a charitable organization, Who is Hussein, have been trying to multiply the initiative emulated from the cold regions of Iran and Turkey, where people donate clothes every winter. The wall, which is painted in black and white, has several hangers where people can hang clothes and food material for the needy.
वॉल ऑफ काइंडनेस जो कॉन्सेप्ट है ये काफ़ी फेमस और सक्सेसफुल है ईरान में, टर्की में और यूरोपियन कंट्रीज़ में भी इसको काफ़ी अच्छे से देखा गया है और इसको सराहा गया है लोगों ने. तो हमने सोचा, हम काफ़ी टाइम से सोच रहे थे कि इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है कश्मीर में इंट्रोड्यूस करने की. तो इस साल थोड़ा हमने सोचा कि नहीं, विंटर भी है और दिस इज़ द आइडियल टाइम टू इंट्रोड्यूस सच एन इनिशिएटिव इन कश्मीर.
बेसिकली वी आर जस्ट क्रिएटिंग अ प्लेटफॉर्म. हम एक प्लेटफॉर्म बना रहे हैं जहाँ पे पीपल हेल्प पीपल बाय देमसेल्व्स. किसी की आइडेंटिटी रिवील नहीं हो रही है, ना डोनर की और जो ले रहा है ना उसकी. हमने जैसे यहाँ पे कोट किया है कि हैंग इफ़ यू हैव एंड टेक इफ़ यू नीड. तो जो आ रहा है वो ही हैंग्स द स्टफ और जिसको ज़रूरत है वो ले रहा है.
Wall of Kindness was started for the homeless people of Mashhad city in Iran after its economy collapsed following the sanctions imposed by some Western countries. Since then, the concept has been emulated by people in the cold regions across the world. The local residents in Kashmir have hailed the initiative taken by the charitable organization for helping the underprivileged sections of the society.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Pakistan's top court extends deadline to conclude corruption cases against Nawaz Sharif. Afghanistan's poll body rejects decision to invalidate Kabul votes. And centuries-old synagogue reopens in southern India. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.